All right, so welcome everybody. My name is Katy Hoolahan. I'm here to talk about the effect of VR games on perceived exertion, exercise adherence, and health. So first, a little bit about myself. I have a background in applied sport and exercise science. So I did my undergraduate degree in that and realized the big problem of low engagement in exercise. And after this, I found virtual reality and went into my master's degree looking into how VR can help with sort of physical and mental health. And I ended up doing my dissertation on the use of VR games for chronic pain in my biomedical engineering master's. Upon leaving university, I co-founded Virtually Healthy to be able to use VR games for fitness, rehabilitation, and therapy. So we all know that exercise every day is healthy to keep us fit and healthy, and it's recommended to do 30 minutes of exercise per day. However, only about 27% of the UK citizens and 23% of US citizens actually meet this recommendation. And we have similar low adherence rates to exercise programs for managing health conditions and recovering from injuries. And this is a major problem within the healthcare industry that costs healthcare providers millions of pounds around the world. So this is due to various barriers to exercise. So a lot of people give the excuse that they don't have enough time, when really this is just that they prioritize exercise underneath other things. For example, someone might come home from work and rather sit down on the sofa and watch TV. Yeah, they could spend that 15 minutes exercising, but they don't want to. They'd rather cook dinner for their kids or sit down and relax after a hard day. Some people will say they lack motivation to get up and go and get started with exercise. Some people have mental health problems that prevent them from engaging, things like depression. Others might feel self-conscious about their body image. They don't want to exercise in front of people because of how they look. Many people experience pain whilst exercising, and this isn't just people with, say, chronic pain or an illness or injury that induces pain. Some people might just not like the fact that it burns your lungs when you go for a run. Yeah, the actual pain that exercise causes itself. Many people just don't enjoy it, or they don't have access to facilities, or they don't have the money to spend on sports, for example. So why virtual reality? Well, immersive VR can distract from mental and physical pain, and this has been shown through research. And it actually, according to the gate theory of attention, VR absorbs and diverts attention away from pain, reducing the perception of pain, and it might even change the way that the brain physically registers pain. And a lot of this research stresses the importance of gaming and play elements in VR interventions aimed at reducing pain. VR might help to overcome many of those barriers to exercise that I just mentioned on the previous slide. And it provides a platform for fun and motivational exercise. Now, we can combine VR with gamification. Now, gamification is basically game-like experiences which promote flow, mastery, achievement, and intrinsic motivation. It encourages participation. It's been shown to positively influence your attitude and behavior towards exercise, and it allows for easy goal setting and progression. So here we can see the three elements of gamification of exercise. We have motivational affordances, such as feedback, points, badges, levels, scoreboards, goal setting, and challenges, which lead to these psychological outcomes, things like self-efficacy and reduced pain and just an improved attitude towards exercise. And then overall, these lead to further behavioral outcomes of increased participation in exercise, which overall leads to a better quality of life. So if we combine these, we get gamified virtual reality, which is a much needed solution to low engagement in exercise for health. We always tend to deal with mental and physical health as separate problems within our healthcare systems. However, the two go hand in hand. If you don't have good physical health, your mental health will deteriorate. if you don't have good mental health, you're unlikely to put in the effort to have good physical health and keep up your physical health. And gamified VR can help with both of these together. So at Virtually Healthy, we've been doing research to show the benefits of VR games. We conducted an 18-week VR study to investigate the use of VR games for health and fitness. We used 36 different games with 20 participants. And we had heart rate monitoring, motion capture, and we used Likert scale questionnaires with rate of perceived exertion given for each game by each participant. And then finally, we also recorded attendance to look at that important adherence to the program. So what did we find? Not surprisingly, VR was quite effective at inducing exercise. However, this was dependent on the game. So we had one game that induced very low intensity exercise, so less than 50% of the maximum heart rate of the participant. But 14 games induced low intensity exercise, which was 50 to 63% of maximum heart rate. 13 of them induced moderate exercise, 64% to 76% of maximum heart rate. 7 games induced high intensity exercise of 77 to 93% max heart rate. And 1 game induced very high intensity of 94 to 99% of maximum heart rate. We also compared the actual exertion we got through heart rate to perceived exertion scores. And we came up with a statistically significant result that your perceived exertion whilst in virtual reality is actually lower than your actual exertion, which may be one of the reasons behind our really successful adherence rates. So we had 90% adherence to the program and only a 10% dropout rate, which is an amazing statistic to have. So for similar research with standard exercise programs of similar length, 67% of adherence is considered successful, and dropout ranges from 25 to 80%, and just 10% is a massive improvement on this. So it really just shows the potential of VR for really creating that engagement in exercise. We also found that in some cases, heart rate was observed to be lower than the initial resting heart rate whilst in virtual reality. Now, this wasn't whilst playing the high-intensity exercise games. This was usually whilst people were in the menus. But this could show the kind of relaxing and anxiety-relieving effect that VR and being in a VR virtual environment can actually have. We had 2 participants with slight limitations to upper limb movement who noted that they felt that they could do things in virtual reality that they couldn't in real life, that they had a greater range of motion, that they could do movements that they couldn't do in real life. 12 participants noted that there were mental health benefits. And we had 2 participants who suffered from depression who noted this. And here we have their responses, the 2 participants who suffered from depression, to the question of, did playing VR regularly have any effect on your mental health? So the first participant answered, I have found it beneficial for my mental health. It has been good for me to have the weekly activity just for myself, which I really enjoy. And I found the immersive nature of VR helps me to just switch off for a period of time, particularly when I'm feeling anxious. And the other participant responded with, definitely, it has been a highlight of my week and has always lifted my mood when I was feeling low otherwise. So this really shows the potential of VR to help with mental health conditions such as depression and anxiety. So we have just had a journal paper released about this study in the International Journal of Virtual and Augmented Reality. So feel free to look that up and have a read of that if you're interested in finding out more details. We also have an overview on our blog if you'd like just a quick overview, don't want to read the whole journal paper. And we are also releasing detailed information about specific games through our blog. So we've currently released details about Rakuten X, Synth Riders, Until You Fall, VR Regatta, Creed Rise to Glory, and Spark. And we have more research details continue to be released through our blog. Right, so I'm also excited to announce our new Virtually Healthy certification. So games that are proven to have benefits for health and fitness through research can now be awarded a Virtually Healthy certification and be considered a virtually healthy game. All virtually healthy games will be given a digital certificate detailing the categories in which they've been proven to be beneficial. So we currently just have 2 categories of cardiovascular exercise and range of motion. But we have plans for more categories in the future as we expand our research. So keep an eye out for games with a certificate or logo on their Steam and Oculus pages. And once we release our app and our programs later this year, you'll be able to access a list of all of the virtually healthy games and which categories they fall into, as well as more details about those games. So what's next? We'll be using this data to develop VR health and fitness programs, and we've already begun to do this. Beta testing on our first programs begins actually next week. If anybody would like to be part of that beta testing, please drop me an email and I can send you over the details for that. We're planning to do more in-depth movement analysis. So we've got a lot of movement data still to go through for all of these games. And we want to use this to develop more specific programs for fitness and rehabilitation. And we also want to use it to provide data to allow health and fitness professionals to be able to create custom programs. So we could give details on the range of movements that a game induces, what muscles that game activates, what velocities and forces around the joints those games induce. So to give information about the benefits, but also the risks of each VR game in terms of fitness rehabilitation. We also plan to continue our research. So we have a few individual research projects planned for other games, a few that are currently in the works. And we plan to also continue research into the effectiveness of our VR programs. Eventually, we want to look into doing clinical trials to then bring these into healthcare organizations and organizations such as the NHS, both private and public. So it's a long road, but that's where we're aiming to go. And once we release our programs later this year, hopefully, we are looking to begin our first funding round to grow and build our platform to both have progress tracking as well as host our programs and host our data for health professionals. We're looking to organize a VR headset loaning system that can be released online and through private health and fitness services. And the aim is to have VR headsets that can be loaned out with all of the games that are necessary to participate in our VR health and fitness programs. This will help to introduce people that are unfamiliar with VR and the benefits of it to VR and get them interested in engaging in their rehabilitation and therapy and fitness. We have several partnerships planned with VR arcade companies, with private health and fitness professionals and organizations, as well as game developers themselves. So we're always looking to do more research into different games. So if you're a game developer, please let us know. And if you're interested, we can organize a research project for you. If you're a private health and fitness professional or just want to connect, I'd love to hear from you and look at potential collaboration opportunities. So here are some of the references that I've used throughout my presentation. And finally, thank you very much for listening. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please get in contact via email, LinkedIn, Facebook, and you can check out our website and our Facebook community. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Katy. Maybe we have a question in the room, in French or in English, as you want. A question or a remark? Yeah? Just take the microphone, please. Wait a second. it's gone. Yeah, it's okay.
Bonjour. Du coup, je pense que ça sera plus en français, vous traduirez.
Yeah.
Ça va être plus simple. C'est juste pour savoir, est-ce qu'elle a pensé à essayer d'appliquer ce qu'elle disait par rapport au fait d'aider les gens avec le sport et la santé sur les gens qui sont actuellement en Covid long, par exemple, qui ont besoin de reprendre en fait une activité pour faire revivre leurs
Yeah.
poumons.
Katy, I don't know if you are.
Unfortunately,
No?
not. I don't
No.
speak French.
Yeah, it's about the COVID syndrome. We say in French long COVID syndrome. Is your methodology of VR adapted to? I'm not sure to say to cure, but to help people with long COVID syndrome.
It's definitely anything that exercise can help with,
Yeah.
our VR programs can help with, and virtual reality itself can help with. Anything that needs some sort of physical rehabilitation, there is potential for VR to help with that. And gamification of VR specifically to more increase the engagement in that. So
Yeah.
it's definitely potential, although I haven't looked into that very much personally yet.
Si je traduis un peu rapidement. OK, c'est bon. OK, perfect. If you have another question, feel free. You say, if I understand, Katy, it's all about motivation, in fact.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's increasing engagement in exercise and physical activity for both mental and physical health.
And we talk with...
Engagement is a massive...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just before you, Bob Cooney talked about benefits and maybe some limitation of VR in sport and in fitness, because it could be sometime an addiction. Do you feel there is a risk of addiction for, I don't know, specific kind of people?
In some ways, like yes, I guess there is always a risk of addiction with anything. Quite honestly, if you don't do something in moderation and you are addicted to it, yes, there could be a problem. But at the same time, it's not necessarily a bad addiction to have. If you're getting good physical activity and it's potentially even helping your mental health, then I don't see the true harm in that.
Okay, thank you. Another question? It's okay. So many thanks, Katy, for your intervention. As I said to Bob, maybe I will see you physically in Laval next year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.